All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our end of day watch list report with yours truly, Dex the Algo Capitalist. As you know, tomorrow is Take Back Friday, so let's take a look at how these markets are shaping up. So on the theta chart, you can see the bearish trend momentum reading is still in effect, and we're in the sell the rally mode, and this market is also in a free fall status. Next, we have ZEC or Zcash, and you can see here that after you got the rally alert, the market's still sideways, no upside production yet, but you got the bullish trend momentum reading, so I'm anticipating that the price action will still attempt to push itself higher into the Kumo cloud. Next, you got XRP Ripple, and you still got the bearish trend momentum reading, and you're in a bear market, so I anticipate that this price action, which is in a free fall status, will continue to drop as well. As far as silver goes, you got more downside production today as the market is getting dangerously close to the $28 support. That's really a psychological soft support. The true support will be, the bottom of the Kumo cloud here at the around the $26 level. So you got a nice little air pocket between 28 and 26. The market overshot the $30 support goal. So if it can snap itself back, that'll be great because it'll build a longer term support around the $30 mark. And then that should help catapult prices to give it the strength it needs to make a run toward the all-time silver highs. Anything short of that and silver falls back down again and disappoints wildly. Next, we have the Dow. The Dow still has the bullish algo shift. Therefore, we expect the price action to continue to attempt to grind higher. Then we have the NASDAQ 100, new 52-week highs, new all-time highs as the NASDAQ is on track to break 20K. Next, we have gold. Gold has the bullish algo shift, so we anticipate that this market is going to try to grind itself higher as well. Next, we have the E-mini S&P 500. Again, new all-time highs, new contract highs, new 52-week highs, and the market is locked in with the bullish trend momentum reading in the bull market, so we expect price action to continue to head higher. Next, we got crude oil, and someone closed the door, slammed the door shut, because now we have this bearish algo shift. All right, for tonight into tomorrow's trading. So it looks like the market has topped itself out for now. This will be interesting to see where we go from here. Next, we have the euro. Now, contract expiration on the euro, on the micro Forex futures is on the 17th. And so that'll be it for it. And I do believe that the markets will probably try to maintain some bullish strength going into contract expiration next week. We'll be rolling over to the September contract shortly thereafter. So that's something to think about and think about too. Also with the stock indices, same thing. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, and Russell futures, they'll be rolling over. I think it's the 21st or something like that. It's the last Friday. So that's next Friday, I believe, is when the stock indices will roll over to the September contract. So we're going to be rolling out of June in your micro Forex futures and your stock indices. They'll be rolling over from the June contract to the September contracts in about a week. Next, we have the pound sterling, and the pound sterling is giving up hope here. Looks like that 28 is really showing itself to be a big hurdle, a major resistance zone, because now we have a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. So it looks like the market has topped itself out. This is a double top. This is a failure, which means we can expect a nice down leg to come and take out these low supports. Getting interesting. Next, we have the Aussie, and nothing has changed here. You still have the bearish algo shift in your Aussie. And you've crossed over now to the bull market status officially. It's been seesawing back and forth, as you can see, bullish, bearish, bearish, bullish. It's trying to get itself together. And we'll see what happens, but it's still sideways to bearish. Next, we have the Russell My Hustle, and look what we have here. Interesting turn of events, but you can see it's really heavily consolidated, and the bears were having their way. But now we have turned green again. So therefore, the nod is going back to the bulls. So we are expecting, with the bullish algo shift, for the market to continue to trek higher. That's right. All the negative stuff has been ignored and does not apply anymore. This negative bot check would have been valid if it happened during the bearish algo shift, but it has not. Therefore, it's being muted, voided, ignored, and the market's getting ready to power itself up. So has the Russell come back to life? It would appear so. Next, we have the Ethereum futures, and they are still negative trend momentum reading. Therefore, we expect the market to continue to head lower. All right, sideways to lower still. Next, we have the Bitcoin futures. Same thing, bearish trend momentum reading, sell the rally mode. We expect sideways to lower prices to continue here as well. And the big one here, the US dollar, the petrodollar. Petrodollar is still under the auspices of the bearish algo shift. So we expect sideways to lower prices as the price action is remaining inside the Kumo cloud. Now, I see you, Ben is saying, what is the impact of Saudi Arabia ending petrodollar on USD and hence the DXY? Well, that's a good question. And as you can see here, as I showed you with the crude oils, the crude oil looks like it has it just ran out of upside steam. So now we got to watch over the next 24 hours if the crude oil is going to roll over and crash and burn along with the US dollar. So we got the US dollar now, you know, with the bearish algo shift. So it's bearish. And now the crude oil has decided it has topped out. It can't run any further. So very, very, very interesting right now. All right, then someone's saying, what are your thoughts about some of these dividend producing yield max funds? Not familiar with those funds, to be honest with you. I have no idea about them. But I mean, the thing about dividend paying instruments is this. And in light of the current economic situation, I'm surprised that more people don't talk about it. But a lot of companies have been cutting back on their dividends. If they're not cutting the dividends altogether, they're severely chopping them in half. It was a few years back, I forget the name of the company, but someone had brought to our attention a really nice stock that the yield that it was paying, it was extraordinarily high dividend for its industry, right? And I will never forget this. If my memory serves me correct, I think the market closed at, like, let's say $30 on a Friday, right? And then when Monday rolled around, man, the stock opened at like, $5 and dropped to like $1 or below $1. It was crazy. And everyone was like, what in the world happened? What's going on? And the price didn't come back either. And it collapsed because the company announced it was doing away with its dividend altogether. So that's the pro and con when you're dealing with dividend paying instruments. At any time, the dividends can be cut back and or eliminated altogether, and there's nothing you can do about it. Next question says, do you see the US dollar 108 is possible and hence higher targets to 115, 140 as you have mentioned in the past? Okay, so I still hold to that longer term theory that unless something happens to change that, technically speaking, you're still on pace for it. So let me just show you why we got the dollar chart up. Okay, so you're still in a bull market, hence the little bull, right? I mean, yeah, see the little bull here in the bottom right hand corner. It's still green. You're still in a bull market. All right. You crossed into the bull market officially right here. And that was the week of March the 28th. Okay. So when the week of April the 3rd came around, bam, we were already crossed over into an official bull market again. Okay. So the issue is not the longer term trend per se. The issue is how the price action has been and is behaving. So just looking at, and this is a daily chart, it's just a daily bars. But if you look at it though, it is showing you, it's painting a picture. So you rallied all the way up here, right? All the way up to the 107s, right? And then you came down hard, almost to parity. All right. Then from a 7 point drop, you rallied all the way back up again, not quite hitting the 107. And now you're failing like you did back here. You came up here, failed. Now you're up here again and you're failing, right? Wash, rinse, repeat. So, all things considered, you would expect the pattern to come back down here and test and or take out that support. As long as you are still in a bull market, you can still anticipate that the price action will continue to behave in this manner. When you're going up and then you're going down, then you're going up, now you're going down. It's that roller coaster. But if you look at it in a wider sense, we're just in a very long term sideways market. Now, if I pull up the weekly here, switch from the daily to, well, I hit the monthly, sorry. If I go over here to the weekly chart, from the daily chart, now you can see you have been technically consolidated, technically since November of 2022. The US dollar has been consolidated since November of 2022. If you bought, all right, if you bought the US dollar on this day at 105.51 and you went to sleep and fell into a coma. No, actually, it dropped. I'm sorry, I gave you the wrong price. 104.53. Sorry, 104.53. And let's say you bought it on December the 2nd, 104.53, right? That's the price. And you bought it on December the 2nd of 2022, almost 2 years ago, right? And let's say you fell into a coma like Rip Van Winkle, all right? The moment after you press enter on your keyboard to buy the US dollar at 104.53, you fell into a coma. You've been asleep for 2 years. And let's say you woke up today. Well, today the price is in the same spot it is as it was almost 2 years ago. So for 2 years, the US dollar has gone absolutely nowhere. It's been oscillating between parity and 107, 106, 107. That's it. Just going up and down. But overall, you're in the same price you were 2 years ago. You've gone absolutely nowhere in the US dollar. Consolidation. And this is due to the White House strong dollar policy. All right, doing their best to keep the dollar alive. Now, traditionally, or should I say in theory, when the dollar is strong, like it was here, it's supposed to depress the price of commodities, right? And then when it's falling, it's supposed to raise the price of commodities, right? Well, the price has been coming down now, and guess what? If you look at the correlation, crude oil just had a technical bounce up, and this has been down. But now all of a sudden, the crude oil is showing that it wants to temporarily top itself out and roll back over again, as the US dollar is still in the red. It's still bearish. You're in the sell the rally mode. So why would crude oil be rolling over now? Well, it goes back to what our comrade said back up here when he said, "What is the impact of Saudi Arabia ending petrodollar on USD and hence the DXY?" You could thank the political regime for that. All right, the political landscape, the political environment is what's causing this to happen. And one last thing I'll say: remember, when we're talking about the petrodollar, when we're talking about forex, because that's what that's what it represents. The forex market is a very complicated market. The U.S. dollar index itself is probably the most complicated, currency out there. No one can really tell you and explain thoroughly what goes into the calculation of the U.S. dollar itself. We say petrodollar because it's the dollar's tied to oil, but that's not necessarily true in a sense that that's not the only tabulation that goes into calculating the US dollar. Okay. Um, very, very brilliant scientist, physicist, mathematician. We had a conversation about that back in my broker days. And he was probably the most brilliant mathematician, physicist I've ever met or had the pleasure to speak with. And even he was saying how nobody can really figure out and explain the US dollar. And, the way he was explaining why no one can explain it, it made a lot of sense. And to this day, I've never really seen anyone tackle that subject and do so successfully. That's how complicated it is. Forex can be very complicated. Don't get it twisted. Forex is easy to trade as compared to other assets, but very difficult to tabulate and explain, you know, coherently. So I put it like that. But I love forex. I love forex, trading forex, um, because of that. So anyway, yeah. What kind of impact will this have longer term with the geopolitical scene? No one knows, because the nature of the markets are diverse. Markets could rally on the most horrific news that mankind has ever received, and markets can collapse on the best news that mankind has ever received. The markets don't make any sense at times. They make no logical sense. The price action goes where it wants. It does what it wants to do. Now, it does telegraph to you if you have access to the algo charts and you know how to decipher the information it's giving you. It will telegraph to you what it's about to do before it does it. It gives you an idea. It tells you. Now, just looking at a chart, just looking at a bar chart is not going to tell you anything. You can try to do chart patterns all you want. All right. We call that market mysticism, price action mysticism. You can try to practice that, but it's not going to get you very far, because patterns fail, and patterns are in the eye of the beholder. All right. One man can see this pattern, another one can see another pattern, and you're both looking at the same chart. It means nothing. It doesn't tell you what's happening. A chart just tells you where the price has gone, but it doesn't tell you where the price is going. It just tell you where it's gone or where it's been, right? If I erased this part, if I stopped right here and cut the rest of the chart off to the right, and all you saw was this, you would assume that the market's going to keep going. Why? Because that's where it's showing you what it's been doing. You would have no reason to even anticipate all this, right? That's why no one knows. But the algo charts here telegraph to you what's coming next. And that's how we knew what was coming. So, yeah, very good questions tonight, though. So, at the end of the day, here comes another Friday, another Take Back Friday. Will we have a legitimate Take Back Friday, or will we have chaos? Or will it be quiet and a whimper? Who knows? All I do know is that the algo charts are suggesting that on the stock indices and in gold, and the system is saying stay long. System's still long. There's nothing bearish. We saw the charts. There's nothing bearish on the algo chart. It just isn't. Therefore, any pullback should be seen as short term and a buying opportunity more than likely. We'll know more when we see how the markets close tomorrow. So tomorrow's close will be interesting because now that we got the FOMC and CPI data out of the way, that now has set the stage for the rest of the summer. So how the markets finish tomorrow will let us know how the market where we're going to start from, and give us an idea what we can expect. I think it's going to be a bull market summer, and that precious metals and stocks will continue to grind higher. All right, sideways with a higher bent to it. As far as the Bitcoin and the Ethereum, the jury is still out on those two. I need a little bit more data to see what's what. But definitely gold, silver, and stocks should stay bullish for the entire summer. Based on what we see right now, I see nothing but bullishness for the summer. All right. So if anything changes, of course, you'll know it here first, especially if you are a subscriber to the attack reports that tell you what is about to happen before it happens so you can position yourself in the market. All right, folks, this is it for the week. Everyone have a great weekend and happy Friday trading. And I'll see you guys back here on Sunday. Have a great weekend. I'm out. Peace.